Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. My name is Jaime, giving you exclusive events on headlines that you didn't even know you needed. And if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe with notifications. And with that said, let's get on with some events, humans. Well, for a long time, people have been making claims and accusations and a lot of wild statements about having close encounters or strange encounters with really strange, unexplained creatures. And it's been going around for a long time, like I said, from like maybe the early 17th century or even beyond, like, even biblical times. People say like crazy, encounters of strange creatures, all throughout history. And today I'm going to talk about some of those today, and I'm going to call it what people put under the category of cryptids. And I'm going to cover a few cryptids today. And like I said, this is some strange encounters. People don't, people look at you like you're Kanye if you come out with a crazy story of like a paranormal or something like a strange creature. Or, say you saw a UFO, something extraterrestrial, and it's really, and if it's something you really believe in your heart that you've seen, I mean, it's going to be really hard when you want to go tell somebody, even if somebody that's close to you and you care about, because it's going to be really you're going to have to deal with what happens afterwards, the consequence. But if you believe it in your heart, man, you got to put the, gas down on the pedal or, pedal to the metal, just, get it out because, maybe it would cause more stress if you don't, But anyways, the first one I'm going to talk about today is the Thunderbirds. That's right, humans. These things look like a giant crow when you see this picture. It looks like a big crow to me or a big raven. You know what I mean? Like, and people have been claims to see this bird like for a long time. Like even today, there's new videos out all over the place. Look at TikTok and then look at YouTube. And look at all the places where they showed those. We could see all the videos on all those social platforms, and people were seeing this big giant bird. But back in the day, like look at this old settlement picture, man, from the old Western settlement days. It looks like, man. They look like the pterodactyl. It's like a dinosaur. Like, if this is a real picture, I mean, it looks like they're really holding this thing. I don't know if this picture's real. But if this was real, I mean, did it eat horses and cows? Like, holy shit. Like literal, like, damn. Like, holy cow. No, but, yeah, I would be freaking out at this time. You don't have no technologies, like, no cell phones. Like, you just can't call nobody and warn nobody, but this big, giant flame, I don't know what the hell it would be called. But what would you think it was back then? I mean, did they call them dinosaurs? Back then, I'd have to look it up. But I'd be scared as hell seeing something like that. I would shoot first. Like, look how the dogs is all calm. Look at that one dog don't even want to get, he don't give no shit. He's like, I don't give a damn. They didn't let me chew on it. He's all pissed off. The other dog don't even give a shit. They got to hold his ass still. But anyways, these Thunderbirds, like I said, people have been making large claims that they've been seeing these all over the place and having close encounters. People have been losing cattle, animals, pets. Sometimes they claim of people being missing when these birds have been seen. And it's rare, but it's really wild. I mean, if you see this giant bird, or like this thing like the size of a plane, like the size of a plane. They say like the wingspans of these birds, like, allegedly can go, as excess of 20 feet or more. So basically this big plane come down, and just come snatch you up. A little fighter jet, or a private jet coming after you. That's wild. I mean, being at the beach and you see a shadow and like, whoa, this shadow keeps turning. Like, that's a sharp flying plane. You might as well want to take a look up. It'd be like that Avatar, what they call that one thing, the last shadow. It might be, if you have an encounter with a bird like this and it's hungry, you might be the last shadow. And imagine, how they say like the eagle and the hawk have like this amazing like vision. Like they could see from like really far away, like, a mouse from like, a mile away or some crap. I don't know what it is for real, but I mean, a bird that size, I wonder if its vision is even crazy or acute, crazy power, like, and more enhanced, because that's a giant bird, and I'm sure that's a big bird of prey. But my goodness, I mean, if this bird is still around, I mean, like, come on, military, like, what the hell's going on here? Or maybe that's what happens when you see all these, random blasts of light up in the sky. Like, did somebody just shoot a missile? And it was probably because they shot one of them big-ass birds, and you want nobody to know about it. Just blow that sucker up. When you go outside and you see a 4-foot feather, just collect it. It came from Walmart or something. It wasn't from the real bird. Now, that's what they'll tell you anyway. But wow. That would be some wild encounter to see a bird that big. I mean, the thing's big. Like I said, some of these things are like a small plane. I don't know how you'd be safe on that one, humans. But I'd be careful on that. I'd be careful on that. And we'll go on to the next one. This one was pretty good. This one's a fun one. The Mothman. So a lot of people from back in the days, even I think around the 70s or something like that, there was a book called The Mothman Prophecies. And like the stories around the Mothman were like every time you would see a sighting of this creature with red eyes and wings. The thing had wings, and it was like a humanoid type of creature, and it had these wings, and it would show up. I guess after you would see this thing, like a tragedy would happen. Some crazy, crazy tragedy would follow after a sighting. And sometimes, there was random cases where some people go missing, but it was also but it was more entitled, like, and more tied into like tragedies. So that's why this guy wrote a book back in the day, called it after all these, stories had come out, he called it The Mothman Prophecies. And I know it sounds familiar to some because after that book came out, it also became a film. And, this one's pretty fun to, when you think about too, because a lot of people always have, like I said, you see these strange creatures, whether this could be tied to something paranormal or could this be something extraterrestrial. But, it's under the category of a cryptid because it's a creature a physical creature people are seeing, and it's something hard to explain. And, it's another one of these things that if there's a weird pictures of something flying, or I don't know what it is flying, is it the Thunderbird or is it the fucking Mothman? But I guess it's been a real quiet one lately, even though this one's got real popular back in the day. Like I said, it became a motion picture. Lately, you haven't really been hearing too much about Mothman. I mean, you see some things on TikTok, because they've been bringing up they be resurrecting a lot of old prophecies on there. I talk about that all the time. Like, I was like, man, I remember this shit from way back, and they still be, it comes back again. And, but yeah, I haven't really seen no like new or, fresh new sightings as far as the Mothman when it comes to that thing. But it would be really wild to see. I mean, a lot of people have claimed this. I mean, it was in newspapers and magazines all over the place. Or did it just get one of those things like, where it just got really popular and it was the thing to say, like, yeah, I saw one, and so everybody kind of just jumped on the bandwagon or something. Who knows? Because, like I said, you only know what you saw. I've saw some things sometimes in the sky and I wasn't sure what it was, but I'm not going to 100% say it was a UFO. And I'm not going to say like a no magnet beam try to lift me up, nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I saw some things like I've had paranormal experiences, lots of those, and those I can't explain. And those are really, really frightening. And I've had like numerous of those, So this would be strange. I mean, a creature come down in front of you. You really can't make out the silhouette. You see these silhouette of wings come out, glowing red lights. You think you're about to die. And this thing disappears somewhere. You freak out to go help somebody, scream for help, and it's gone. And then all of a sudden, like, a hurricane comes or something like that, or something bananas, like I think the last thing that happened there when they saw the Mothman was some bridge or something collapsed or some shit. And so they attributed it to the Mothman showing up because they say that he was sighted at the same time this happened or something wild like that. That's really wild to think about, So if it's been a while since he came around, and maybe we could use him for once in a while, or him or whatever it is, to let us know if some other crazy shit's going down. What's up, Mothman? Keep us a heads up. I mean, if you ain't hurting us, at least come back and keep warning us with your scary looking ass. And my next one, I'm going to go on to humans, which is a very popular one, which, I kind of brought it up a little bit on my last episode. Bigfoot. Bigfoot is the next cryptid that, everybody's still seeing Bigfoot today. And this thing, like I said, it pisses me off because every time you see Bigfoot, it's always these super blurry pictures. And it's always like, yeah, like I said before, you're looking through the trees and you see kind of something brown moving, a little hairy thing kind of moving a little bit through the tree, and you can't even see what the fuck, if it's a bear, if it's a stick, or an old piece of tree just swinging in the woods. But it's supposed to be Bigfoot, and then all of a sudden you go there and you get this plaster and you make all these. Well, what else I kind of, it's kind of really weird about the Bigfoot one, which kind of, makes me always say BS. Besides, you can't find a dead one. You never find their waist. And all their footprints that they seem to plaster or whatever, they all seem to like be the same size. They don't have no variations of the Bigfoot. Like it seems like they all like size 16s or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like some standard foot. And you don't never see no different toes. It's always like the same exact foot, which makes me claim like a little BS. Cause I think everybody have different feet. Some people got different arches and foot, stuff like that. I just feel like everybody has some different kind of footprint. So that's another thing that kind of makes me go BS on the Bigfoot one. And it's always a blurry photo. And you always got to see something that where a guy's like, or so whoever's filming the video, they're always like just out of reach where you're not going to get a good focus. It's just, like I said, it's just some blurry madness. But it is a fun one, like I said, because it never stops. There's like TV shows just, just built around Bigfoot. It's just Bigfoot shows all damn day. It's like finding a Bigfoot, going to the country, secret country wood to camp out, and they're all looking for Bigfoot all the time. So one day they're going to, with all these TV shows everywhere, and they're all over the country and all over the world trying to find Bigfoot, even on cameras everywhere, and they still can't find one. But when somebody does find one on TikTok, it's this blurry thing. It's probably the dudes out there filming looking for the Bigfoot, and then when they realize it, like, well, we ain't zooming in. We're just going to keep this blurry shit and let people keep the mystery. But I'll go on to the next one, humans. This one is really creepy. The Skinwalkers. And a lot of people say of Skinwalkers or shapeshifters. And I'm not talking about just necessarily like the reptilian ones where you see people in the public and they change into humans or whatever. I'm talking about like the Skinwalkers, like you hear like over at the Skinwalker Ranch, and these things can shapeshift into they claim into different animals or humanoids or humans or things like that. And these weird pictures you see, man, I don't know what this is, and a trail cam picked these up. I don't know how real they are, but it's weird. Like the legs look like they bent backwards. It's all kind of weird. And then you got these other trail cams that pick up these weird footage, like it's almost like mid-transitioning into something. I don't know. But the Skinwalker thing creeps me out, because it's got a paranormal feel. Also super, weird, strange. This is super strange because it could be, what is it, demonic? Is it like I said, paranormal? It's a spiritual weird connection that, gets an uneasy feel when you see these pictures. And some of them have those weird videos. I don't know if they're real or not, but they're always in night vision. And you see this weird creature turn around and it's like, it just looks all fucking wild. Or you see people have this depiction of a video where they go into a cave and you just see the eyes come out the corner and things just kind of peeking around like, what you doing? Boom. And it takes off. Those weird pictures. You're not sure if they're real or not. But it's just weird things like that. People come across these strange things. People been in the jungle, exploring in different places of the woods, even even our own forests, and just come across a strange creature. Not necessarily Bigfoot, but something crazy that you don't understand. And the Skinwalker thing would be really strange. They say it mimics, it would mimic maybe a person screaming for help. You'll be out in the woods in the forest and you hear something like, help me, or whatever the hell. And you better just ignore that shit. It's almost like a siren or something, it's just luring you in to your demise. And I'd be tripping out if I saw a Skinwalker. I wouldn't know what a Skinwalker is because more than likely, well, they say you will tell because it wouldn't say nothing that would make sense. Because it wants to mimic a human, it might just say something random, help me find my dog, and you're in the middle of the forest, or, and somebody's like, shoes, something weird just comes out. And it's like, did somebody say shoes? And then you get closer and you get killed by the Skinwalker. So I've been careful with that, humans. I'd be careful. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you would smash that like button and hit me with a subscription. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans, see ya.